What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams with the distance. Another prediction video for the fantasy contest. Um, like I said, don't really want to make videos today. Just doing it to get it over with. Due to circumstances, but in another video, I'm doing pretty much at the top of my head because I haven't really been watching videos of both fighters. What I tend to do, I do everything at the top of my head, basically. But I do watch videos of the fighters right before, not right before, but maybe the night or so before. I do watch videos of the fighters right, before I make the videos, so I don't end up looking like an ass before I make the videos. But sorry about that. I was getting a message, but Chris Arreola versus Tomasz Adamek. Really good fight. Not a championship fight, but I think it's one of the best fights between two heavyweight contenders that could be made. And we haven't really had a fight between two heavyweight contenders that was really good in a long time. Two contenders, one contender who was a champion in another division, or two other divisions, cruiserweight and light heavyweight, and another guy who's a challenger who just fought for the championship not too long ago, about 6-7 months ago, was fighting for a championship, and is kind of on the comeback trail. So this is a really good fight, just based on that, because like I said, two solid contenders facing each other. So really the question in this fight, there's two questions surrounding this fight. One, will Chris Arreola actually come in shape? In the fight against Vitaly Klitschko, he was like 248 and he came in, he said he learned his lesson, but he came in like pounds heavier, about more than 10 pounds heavier than he did in the championship fight when he fought Brian Minto December the 5th. So the question is Arreola going to come in shape? I doubt it. Because Arreola, to me, seemed to be at his best when he was 230 pounds. At 230 pounds, he seemed to be a bit faster, and he doesn't necessarily get winded, but it just seemed that he was a bit faster, and his shots were a little more crisp and a little more precise. And another question is, how does Tomasz Adamek do against an aggressive heavyweight? Considering that Tomasz Adamek, recently, 3 years ago, was fighting at light heavyweight, and last year was fighting at cruiserweight. How does he fare against an aggressive heavyweight with knockout power? So anyway, on to the fight. Tomasz Adamek in this fight has to throw a lot of straight shots, because Arreola is the type of fighter who covers up when you jab at him. When you jab at him, he covers up, and it leaves. And sometimes the shots get through. They get through, but at the same time, Arreola, kind of covers up high. The guard is a bit high. So Adamek, is going to have some openings if he can pretty much lead in with the jab. If he can lead in with the jab, follow up with the right to the body. That's really what Adamek should do in this fight. And we saw in the fight with Paul Briggs that Adamek, at times with Adamek, he could take one to give one. And Tomasz Adamek, we've seen a lot of improvements with Tomasz Adamek ever since the Cunningham fight. There's just so many improvements with Adamek. And Adamek, really needs to come forward with the jab. He needs to come forward with the jab and actually follow it up with some pretty decent right hands. I think that the uppercut could be open in this fight because of how Arreola can throw his overhand right. I think that the uppercut could be open and the right hook, because he does do a very good job. He could throw the right hook automatically, right from the swing from the hip, and get the right hook in. So Tomasz Adamek needs to do that in this fight. I think really, jabbing. I think really the straight shots is gonna get Arreola. I think he needs to pretty much just throw straight shots. If you throw like hooks, uppercuts and crosses at Arreola won't stand that guard, but it's really straight shots that makes Arreola stand in the guard and kind of make him on the defensive, and I think that it can make Arreola uncomfortable. And Chris Arreola in this fight against Tomasz Adamek, Chris Arreola, believe it or not, does a very good job of throwing his left jab. But the thing with Arreola though is he abandons that jab towards the middle rounds. Maybe by round 4, he abandons that jab. So in this fight against Tomasz Adamek is very technical. He knows how to lead up to knockouts. He knows how Tomasz Adamek does a good job against fighters who adjust, and he does a good job of adjusting to fighters who adjust, and he can do it as well. So Chris Arreola in this fight has to, we all know Chris Arreola is going to come in and he's going to be aggressive, and he's going to more than likely be the aggressor in the fight. Chris Arreola in this fight definitely has to attack Tomasz Adamek. He has to attack him, but at the same time, he has to move. He has to kind of move more, because Arreola at times just comes straight forward and bum rushes, and with Tomasz Adamek, he has to do a lot of, side to side. He's not necessarily lateral movement, but kind of in a circle. He wants the center of the ring fight to where he can move, take that big step to the left and attack more, take the big step to the right, attack more. That's really what Arreola needs to do. And on top of that, that head to the chest, bang to the body type mentality. He just needs to, being a naturally bigger man, he has to pretty much use that size to an advantage. He has to utilize the size to his advantage, and get his shots off to the body. That's really what Arreola needs to do in this fight. And other than that, I don't think he wants to be caught up in exchanges with Adamek, because Adamek, for some reason, I think Adamek has that sharp right hand that he could sneak in very well. He sneaks in the right hand very well. We saw it against Briggs. We saw it against Cunningham. I think he did it against Bobby Gunn, I think his name was. He just does a good job of sneaking in the right hand and coming in with the right hand and leading in with the right hand. And sometimes you just don't see it coming. So he does need to protect himself from that right hand, because Arreola does a good job of getting the left up, but he doesn't get the left up right away in time. So really, I just think that Arreola needs to attack to the body consistently in the fight. And I think Adamek can take it, but I think pretty much have that volume punch type mentality in this fight. But if I had to come up with a winner for this fight, this is a hard one to call, but I want to go with Tomasz Adamek in this fight. Though Arreola is going to be the much bigger fighter, I think Arreola is going to outweigh Adamek by maybe 20-30 pounds. I think Arreola is going to be the bigger fighter, the bigger man in this fight, unless Adamek decides to come in at 230, whatever. But I do believe that Chris Arreola will have trouble against, the fact that Adamek does adjust very well. He adapts, he adjusts very well, and I think that the adjustments that Adamek makes will give Arreola quite a bit of trouble. And I think it's going to be a close fight. But Adamek gets the decision in it. So anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Peace.